This is Real News Media TV, coverage you can trust. Please like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates. Second person dies in Rose Heights birthday party attack. A second person has died following a shooting at a birthday party in Rose Heights, St. James yesterday afternoon. 5 other persons were injured in the incident, believed to be gang-related. One of the deceased men was allegedly a member of a gang that operates out of the area, a highly placed police source said. The alleged gang leader was reportedly shot during the incident that occurred at a birthday party at a house in the Mile Road area of the community. The Jamaica Constabulary Forces Corporate Communications Unit has confirmed the incident but said it had no further details. Initial reports said 5 persons were shot, 1 fatally. However, officials at the Cornwall Regional Hospital in the parish have now indicated that 7 persons were brought in and 2 have since been pronounced dead. The gunmen allegedly went into a home at approximately 4 p.m. and opened fire at least 5 persons who were inside, reports say. The area is reportedly tense. This is the second murder in 3 days in St. James. On Monday, a man was killed in Hendon, Norwood, near the zone of special operations at about 10 p.m. He was shot several times in the face by his attackers. Murders in Jamaica have increased by 6.5%. The latest crime statistics published by the Jamaica Constabulary Force is indicating that up to Monday, May 23, 35 more people have been killed in 2022 when compared to the similar period in 2021. Murders now stand at 574. Scammers defraud NCB customers of $18 million in 10 days. At least $22 million have been defrauded from the accounts of National Commercial Bank customers in phishing attacks since the start of the year. More than half of this amount was defrauded a little over a week ago, Dane Nicholson, manager for special investigations in the bank's fraud unit, said. So over the last 10 days or so, we have seen close to $18 million, but for the year starting from January 1 to current is about $23 million thereabout that customers have lost to phishing and phishing attacks, Nicholson revealed. Phishing is a type of scam in which fraudsters send fraudulent messages by either SMS or email to trick people into handing over delicate information about their bank accounts. Nicholson told the news that the money taken over the last 10 days was from the accounts of about a dozen customers. He said the police are on board with the bank's investigations, and so far 1 person has been arrested in connection with the attacks. He expects more arrests. The attacks have forced the bank to enact new policies. We have implemented a no-click, no-link policy, Nicholson explained. So once your customers get these SMS or email messages with a link in there asking them to click on it, please, we are advising the customers not to click on them because we have a no-click, no-link policy. Explaining the scam, Nicholson said the fraudsters would send the customers messages purporting to be from NCB. The messages would ask them to click on a link to either regain access to their accounts, reset passwords about to be expired, or verify info because of suspicious transactions on their accounts. Once they click, it takes them to a page resembling NCB's login page and asks them to provide their username or password. After doing this, the link would time out or they would get an error message. So they would have submitted their username and password in that phishing attack. That is where the fraudster would gain sufficient information now on the customers and would now call them back to pretend to be an employee of the bank, he explained. And we have seen where they have called the customers pretending to be me, Dane Nicholson, asking customers to verify suspicious transactions, and to stop the fraud they need to provide them with their token number. Once the customers provide their token code, that is when fraudsters would have sufficient information to add beneficiaries to their account to execute the fraudulent transactions. Nicholson said in some instances, based on investigations, the page also takes them to another page that asks them for their 16-digit credit card number, CVV number, and the expiry date. He said the bank identified some customers who fell victim to the attacks. Others reached out to us to say that they have clicked on the link and the persons would have called them and they would have divulged information. So those customers have reported the matter to us, he said. Life sentence more effective than death penalty, says Chang. While not ruling out a return to the death penalty, National Security Minister Dr. Harris Chang says imposing a life sentence will be more effective in the drive towards eradicating crimes and the criminality in the society. Chang made that distinction in an interview with reporters in St. James on Tuesday while he was presenting tablet computers to students at the Glendevon Primary and Infant School in his St. James Northwestern constituency. When you take a big man who is seen as a don, you put him before a court and before a jury, try him and find him guilty, we can lock him away, and it diminishes his status in the community, said Chang. It sends a signal that we are in control, and I think that's an important message to the wider community. He said is the preferred punishment to apply to those who use the gun to commit murder. Murders committed across Jamaica between January 1 and May 23 this year amounted to 574, an increase of 35% over the 539 cases recorded for the corresponding period of 2021, according to data provided by the Jamaica Constabulary Force Statistics Unit. Chang is of the view that if the death penalty remains the final form of deterrent method, criminals will continue to create mayhem until the security forces are able to apprehend them. To just find and kill the gunman that commits murder, whether it is extrajudicial or judicial, it has a finality that the next man will say, "All right, I will take my risk and go." But to change his life dramatically by embarrassing, belittling, diminishing him, I think it is a very important part of turning away those who might be seeking to use the gun as a source of employment, Chang said with confidence. In the immediate situation, we have to apprehend the killers, and when they are apprehended and found guilty, they must be locked away for a long time so that they cannot come back and recycle, he continued. Capital punishment is a legal penalty in Jamaica. Currently, the only crime punishable by death is aggravated murder. The method of execution is by hanging. However, in 2004, Jamaica removed the mandatory death penalty for murder. The sentence remains on the books for certain categories of murder, but there has been no execution since February 1988. Chang noted that the death penalty is debatable. There are some of us who support it in the circumstances where they are found guilty of causing death to another citizen. Others feel differently. Trinidad and Tobago is the only country in the English-speaking Caribbean that retains the mandatory death penalty. That position was further strengthened by the United Kingdom Privy Council, who had earlier this month ruled that the mandatory death penalty in that country is not unconstitutional. I am satisfied that the Privy Council has ruled in a manner that I am happy with, declared Chang, who was addressing the matter for the first time since the ruling. Early warning systems to be set up in several flood-prone areas. The government is to set up early warning systems in several areas which are frequently flooded when it rains, in the wake of incidents such as last month's flooding in Montego Bay, St. James, in which an elderly woman and her granddaughter were washed away. Local Government Minister Desmond McKenzie said that the areas include Benton Ford in St. Andrew, Port Maria in St. Mary, and Alley Bridge in Clarendon.
We saw what happened in Montego Bay a couple of weeks ago, and our heart goes out. And it is important that the country understands and recognizes when you see flooding, don't try to cross it. A number of areas have been identified for the erection of early warning signs, Madam Speaker. Benson Fording in Kingston will have the sign installed. Port Maria in St. Mary, Member Guy, and Alley Bridge in Clarendon will benefit.
2 weeks ago, the St. James Municipal Corporation officially called off its search for 68-year-old Beryl Walters, who was washed away during flood rains in the Westgate area of Montego Bay. Mrs. Walters, her husband, their daughter, and a 12-year-old granddaughter Janelle were swept away in their family car on April 19. Mr. Walters and his daughter were rescued from the flood waters. Janelle died and her body was recovered, while Mrs. Walters was never found. Troop warns of trouble in Granville. Warning that the violence-plagued Granville division can erupt at any time, Councillor Michael Troop is calling for action on the police station that was shuttered more than a year ago after a fire. They know the situation in Granville. We have 7 unplanned areas. Some people call it capture land. And Granville is an area that can erupt at any time, any given time, he lamented. It's a difficult situation, and I thought by now we would have done some cleaning up and all those things. I've been asking ever since the police station burned down, and I've just been getting that they are working on it and no tangible updates, he added. On May 19 last year, the station was closed as a fire left it inhabitable. A short circuit of electrical wiring is believed to be the cause of the blaze that left $20 million in damage. The barracks room, waiting area, and other areas of the building were damaged. Operations were temporarily moved to the Meadows of Irwin housing development. Having the Granville police posted in another community, said Troop, is far than ideal. People can't afford taxi fare to go to Irwin, he said. He is also concerned about the response time from lawmen posted at Irwin. A lady died in natural causes, and when them call Irwin, it took them 4 hours for the police to come, and that is not good service. Most persons in Granville now don't know the station number around there. Most persons in Granville retirement don't have a clue, he said. There is a sign on the padlock gates of the police station indicating that it has been relocated and the number to call. According to Troop, residents have asked for a mobile police station to be placed in Granville until the police station is once again up and running. He is calling on the relevant authorities to put things in place so that the station can be returned to the community. Whatever they are planning, whatever they are doing, whatever plan they are putting in place, they must make haste and plan because the station is really needed in Granville, he appealed. With the police station there, people can feel more secure. Even while they step up on the patrols, they feel more secure with a police station, he added. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates.